leaving out the drive. If you don't have to fuck with me tonight, looking at the table, all I see is bleeding white. Baby, you live in the life, and nigga, you ain't living right. Cocaine and drinking with your friends, you live in the dark, boy, I cannot pretend. I'm not faced, only you to sin. If you've been in the garden, you know that you can.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you, never gonna make you cry, never gonna say goodbye, never gonna tell a lie and hurt you.
What up? How y'all doing? It's about that time for the Q&A. I've been stalling on doing it. I'm lying. I didn't like it. I did it the first time, and it came out a little too long, and I was just bullshitting. Before we start, Rita, Strawberry Rita, feeling like a bad bitch. These are questions I pulled from Facebook, Instagram, maybe TikTok. I don't know if I did TikTok. They're in no particular order. I'm just kind of going with the flow. I copied and pasted from each platform. So, first one. What line of pops do you wish they would stop expanding? I think black lights. I think black lights are a little overhyped. Well, they're kind of dying out now. But I just don't think they're needed anymore. Another one. That's a good question. What pops do I not like? I don't care for the Art Series ones. And chromes. And solid metallic ones. I don't like those either. Oh, and to finish it off, the die-cast chrome chases they've been making. The comics are cooler than the chases, so I don't even know why they're making the chromes. But I got one the other day in a trade at Cowtown Comic Con. I got a Thor chase. So if you need it, let me know. I got one. Any advice for upcoming Funko Pop vendors? Just have fun. Just enjoy it. Be real, be true to you, be yourself, and don't rush into it. I would say don't rush into it. People want to come in and automatically make, big bucks right off the rip. And it's not like that. You gotta kind of build your rep and also have good products too. So if you got a bunch of new stuff that just came out, you might do good for the new, like, those collectors that need the newer stuff. But, you want to have that variety of older stuff and newer stuff, mid-range stuff, lower end to grails. So you just want to have a good mix of stuff. Because if you always have the same amount of things and the same kind of things, then it makes it a little bit harder for yourself. So try to have a good mix and just be yourself, be cool, talk to people, build those relationships, and that's really important. We said in the podcast, me and JJ, in the Event Spotlight podcast, we said, just be yourself, because that's what all people really want, That's how you build those connections, and when people see that, they see who you are, you're true to yourself, they'll be down for you. So next question: what made you start collecting, and what inspired you to create it into a business? That's a good question. So when I started collecting, it was like in 2015. Let's say late 2015. My mom bought me Funko Pop for Christmas. It was a perfect sale from Dragon Ball Z. I'd always kind of wanted some pops, but I never pulled the trigger just because I thought they're kind of expensive for $13, right? At the time, like, now I'm not gonna pay $13 for a pop. But she got me a sell one, because I love Dragon Ball Z. Especially as a kid, have a tattoo. Don't got Cell, but I got some other characters: Vegeta, Trunks, Goku, and Gohan. So, she bought me one for Christmas, and that was the start. I had a Cell, and I went to Think Geek in Northeast Mall at the time, and I saw Frieza, Perfect Form Frieza, Final Form Frieza, sorry. And that I had to get it, because I had Cell, then I saw Goku, and okay, then just kind of started branching out into other stuff, into other lines, and eventually I had a ton. And then a friend Gabe Molina, he hit me up. He's like, hey, you want to go to a pop swap? I didn't know what that was at the time. I was like, what's that? He's like, oh, it's a show. People come, sell, trade their Funko Pops and whatnot. I was like, sure, that sounds dope. I'm down. So went up there with like 6-7 pops on my table. I was with Gabe at his table and just met a bunch of people. I was really shy, really introverted, just like in the corner of my spot at the table. But Jay Crispy, that's where we met. That was like in late 2015, and we met there. and we just vibed like right away. Since then, me and him have hung out, talked as friends, and then he kind of was like, "Yo, like you should get into this business." And so I thought about it, like as a hobby, side hobby. Finally, I decided to do it. I bought my first lot, 100 pops for 250, so like 250 a piece. Bunch of comments and stuff, but it was a start. So I got those, and then from then on, I was just hustling. It went from like 1 or 2 bins I was taking the shows to 3 or 4 to 5, 6. And it's crazy. Now I'm rocking like 40, 50 bins. But yeah, so that's how it started. I truly turned it into a business, I would say, in 2021, last year. Even though I was going strong with the shows, it wasn't like official, like, yo, like, this is what I'm gonna do for like, at least for now, this part of my life. I'm gonna dedicate my time, my effort, everything to this business. It was right after WeedCon. I did WeedCon, my first convention, and that was, it was a good experience. It was fun. It, was eye-opening, what it could really bring to business itself. And I just knew that it was time for me to step up. I had graduated school, had my degree, and I was like, it's time. It's time to go all in for it. And I did. That's what got me started, as a business into the Funko Pop, the vendor, selling toys, collectibles, everything I'm doing. Now I'm branching out to other stuff, Squishmallows, cards, and everything you think of. But shirts, anime shirts. But Funko Pop's always be where my heart is, just because that's what got me started. So that's how I started this business and how I am where I am today. One thing you wish you knew before starting resale, I wish I knew not to really waste my time at new releases. I don't attend any new releases anymore. It's just not worth it. To go wait in line, hope to get one, because there's always issues at a lot of these releases. Trying to go sell it after the fact. It just didn't make sense after a while. I do have a story about that. Me and Jay, it was like SDCC 2016 or 17? I want to say 16. We had gone to Barnes & Noble to pick up some new releases for SDCC. And we're outside the mall. And we get in there, we're first in line. So we get in there, they open it up, we go in. It's like kind of chill. And as soon as I get to there's 2 doors, Barnes & Noble, the first one, and the second one to get into the store. Since I got into that second store, the door and the area was able to kind of go around, I was like damn near trampled. People just went around me, going crazy, boom, 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 going around, and shit, we hardly got anything because people were just going crazy. And it was like that was the last time I attended a new release because there's just I didn't see the point anymore. I was like, it's not worth it. It's too much of a hassle and too much of even like a safety risk for me at least. Because of how people were acting that day. And besides that, I would say just be open. Don't be too shy. Don't just sit at your booth, your table, and not talk unless you're spoken to. You gotta talk to people. You gotta put yourself out there. Because I wasn't doing that initially. I was going, hopefully I'll make a sale. But now, and you gotta really kind of make an effort to build those relationships with people, with your clients. That's how you're gonna get people to buy from you, want to come back to you, support you. I wish I knew that when I first started. Now I know. So anybody who wants, more advice on how to get started, owning a business, having a business, we can give you that advice. Be sure to watch the Vendor Spotlight podcast. Me and Jay, we cover all that. We talk to vendors, we have guests, we get their stories and they started, how they done business, all the tips and tricks that we can give, that we absolutely can give, we do and we will. So be sure to check it out if you're trying to get into a business, or this Funko business, resale business, and going with open arms and taking all the information you can, because it's really important. What makes you interested in anime? Just love anime. As a kid, I loved anime. I loved Dragon Ball Z. The action, the fighting, all that. I started watching more and more as I got older, into high school, and just some of the stories are really good. The art. I love art. I'm an artist myself, so I appreciate real nice art. And I'm spoiled with the new animation, like the newer animation compared to the older one. So whenever people are like, "Oh, have you seen this anime?" It's like way older. I'm like, "No, I haven't." Like, check it out. It's kind of hard to watch sometimes because I'm so used to the newer stuff now. With Demon Slayers, Attack on Titans, the Jujutsu Kaisens. The animations are crazy. So to go back, I'm trying to watch Yu Yu Hakusho, and I'm on like episode 2. Don't judge me. Favorite anime character will be Itachi. I have him tattooed right here. You can see that. Tattooed right there. He's got a great backstory, great story overall, great character arc, and, what's not to love. Even my logo, my newer logo for 2022 was based on Itachi. First thing you remember collecting, as I said, the Perfect Sale is my first Funko Pop. Collection-wise, I never really collected anything. Like, I never was like a big collector. So I think first Funko Pops were my first thing that I actually truly collected. And still collect to this day. Match or coffee? Coffee. Favorite pastry? Cheesecake. I love cheesecake. How long does it take to set up at shows? That's a great question. And I just started posting on my Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube time lapses on my setups and breakdown. Because people are like, "Oh, I've had questions." They're like, "Oh, like how long does it take to set up?" This the time lapses. It breaks down like 4 hours, 5 hours into like 3 minutes. So for Cowtown Comic Con, it was about 4.5 hours setting up. It took us about 4.5 hours, and it broke down into 3 minutes, the whole time lapse. So you can check it out on my IG or my TikTok, and it's really interesting and cool to see. So for the bigger shows, I'm going to be sharing with y'all the time lapses and setting up and all that, so y'all can really see what goes into all the work we put in. There's a lot of work y'all don't see behind the scenes. Pricing, like, all the time, especially if you have back-to-back cons, constantly pricing. And when you have, 1,000 items, that's a lot to price. If this thing fluctuates, you gotta check. Pricing, sorting, trying to buy new stuff, deciding what to take to shows. Like, you gotta kind of pay attention to, once you start doing a show so many times, you gotta kind of pay attention to the market, who's going. So should I take these items, or should I leave these and take these? Anime shows. You're not going to do really good with older, like, rock bands or even Star Wars sometimes. It's like anime. That's what they want. So you got to take out all the stuff that's not, for that market, and hopefully you have enough to provide at the show. And if you don't, then you got to go try to buy some more stuff before then. So, and we do put stuff to the side for bigger shows. But, sometimes you gotta get your money now. You can't hold things for months unless, you're just able to do that. If you're not constantly grinding, then it's easier to do that. But when you have shows back to back to back to back to back, it's harder to do that. But, anywhere between shows, a smaller local show might take me an hour, 2 hours, no more than an hour, hour and a half for like just 3 tables. But like a booth, like a 10 by 10, we took 4.5 hours. A 20 by 10, I have not had a 20 by 10 yet, but I can imagine what it's going to take. A Retro Expo booth, like in July, I think it was, July, took 9 hours to put up. It was a 16 by 10, and we took 9 hours. So you can imagine how exhausting that was. What's the day in the life of Spinny look like? You're looking at it now, chilling, making videos, editing videos, filming podcasts. I guess when I'm not really like, the thing is, I'm always working. Like, I'm always doing stuff now. Especially now that I moved out a couple months ago, back in February, since I've been on my own, with my roommate. Seems like I'm always doing things now, like work-wise. I stay up late. I stay up till about 3 or 4. I have trouble sleeping sometimes. So I'm up doing stuff till like 3 or 4, sometimes even 5 or 6. And I wake up around 9 or 10, 11 sometimes, and I'll just kind of relax an hour or two, take a shower, get some food, and then about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, my day will officially start, and that's when I'll start doing like marketing on the pages, promoting shows, preparing for shows, pricing, doing all that stuff. So I do get up late, but also stay up late, and also staying up late for me, I'm not really distracted by like texts or emails or anything. So in that like past like 11 o'clock hours, it's just me, my me time. So I can really kind of focus, tunnel vision on the things I'm doing, and it makes it easier for me. Favorite post show meals? I don't really have a favorite. Honestly, it just depends. I love to go out with friends after the shows, other vendors. After the shows, that's always a good time. But I do so many shows in different areas. It's like it's hard to really be like, oh yeah, I gotta have this on the way home because we come from different areas, and sometimes you're not gonna pass it on the way home. Sometimes you're way too hungry to go home. If it's like a 45-minute drive, you haven't eaten all day, you might just get something nearby the venue, eat there, and then go home to go to sleep. So it just depends. But I guess things I've gotten on the regular, I guess I would say, more often than not, have been like Wingstop, Freebirds. I love Freebirds, Thai food, and that's really it. That's like the normal. Like, and then besides that, it's just like, oh, and I guess Mexican. And when I hang out with Chad, we'll go eat Mexican and get margaritas after the show. I'm like 3 hours of sleep, drinking margaritas, and I'm buzzing. After these shows, I'm like, fuck, I'm like drunk. But it's always a good time. It's worth it. How has collecting made a difference in my life? Oh my god. What a question. That's, collecting started all this for me. The selling the Funko Pops. It got me back into graphic design. It boosted my confidence just because I'm putting myself out there, So like, it helped with school, with college. I got my degree as I was doing this. Just talking to people and have a lot of, one, I have a lot of connections, a lot of, relationships, but I also have a lot of friends that I count on, like for shows to help out and just hang out, confide in. I made a lot of friends throughout these 5-6 years, and I'm grateful, So even if we were friends for only a period of time, in that, these last 6 years, that I believe everyone who you meet has an impact on you, in some way. You met them for a reason, you had that relationship for a reason, and whether you kept it or didn't, I feel like there's always going to be that you had it, So I think it's important to really make those, cherish them, those relationships. And if things change, then it's just, part of life, part of growth. And the people who stay with you from the beginning to end, you can count on them for everything too. So that's I think the most important thing, the favorite thing that has made a difference in my life. How often do I purge my collection? Ooh, let me get a drink. That's a no. I purge my collection. I haven't purged it in a good while. I used to purge it whenever I would need like extra money, low on funds, and needed inventory. I guess the most recent thing I purged was my Hero collection. I don't really collect My Hero that much anymore, or watch. I watch it. I'm not gonna say I don't watch it, but there's just too many pops coming out, and I was like, I'll get rid of that line. So I purged that line, but I did keep some of the grails. I kept Mashup Choco, Glow Mite because I got it signed, Mr. Compressed because that's a cool pop, Dobby's a great pop, and then Weekend on Mite because that's also signed, and I feel like there's one more, Stain, signed Hero Killer Stain. I kept that too, so I believe that's all of them. Besides that, I've been thinking of purging my collection again, maybe, because they just sit there, and if they're just sitting there and I'm not even really looking at them, then why do I have them? But I know when I sell them, I'm gonna be like, damn, I shouldn't have sold them. What is the most expensive item in my collection? A Dirk pop. Goals for the end of the year. Okay, so we are at October, mid to late October. 2 more months left in the year. I have Anime Dallas, Anime Frontier, Retro Expo, Fanboys, Comic Con, 2 of them because we have the Denton and Fort Worth. Honestly, I guess finish strong. Stay consistent with the podcast. Stay consistent with the business itself as a whole, buying, selling, attending shows, and preparing for next year. Honestly, for some plans for the next beginning the first quarter, just have stuff planned out. But I guess that's really it. And maybe hopefully have a location for a shop, whether it's a booth somewhere or a store. I don't know, but I have some stuff that I really just need to kind of move, and having a location would be great. Everything I've done, everything I've wanted to do, I've done pretty much. We got the podcast going. We got Chuck Huber, voice actor of Android 17, and Bert Pilaf, EA, on the podcast. Every show I've wanted to attend, I've attended pretty much. So I'm accomplishing everything I want to do, and this is growth, consistency and growth. That's key. That's key. So hopefully, things work out. God willing. Favorite drink. I like Big Red. Right now I want a Dr Pepper Zero kick. Oh well, Dr Pepper Cream Zero. That's really good. It's probably my favorite right now. And besides that, I guess alcohol wise, beer. I like beers. I like I like Dos Equis. I like Modelo when I'm trying to get drunk. I like Miller Lite when I'm trying to lose weight but still want a beer. I drink Miller Lite. And for shots, I like green tea shots. They're sweet, they're good, they creep up on you, they get you litty. So, there you go. Of course, water. But I think we all drink water. Vendors I'm excited to work with. Oh, there's so many. And I don't want to name them because if I leave somebody out, then people are going to be butthurt and say, oh, I'm not one of the vendors you're excited to see. So I'm not going to answer that, but my favorite people, you know who you are. Final question, at what age or point in life did you stop playing with toys and start seeing them as collectibles? I guess, I don't know. This is a weird question to answer just because, I didn't get into Pops until I was out of high school. I was already an adult, which I had been playing with toys, for years already. I play video games, and I still do every now and then, but there's really I just knew that I could tell from seeing Pops that they kind of stayed in the box. Their figurines, they didn't have torsos or arms that moved or flexed. They kind of just stood there. So I was like, yeah, that's cool. It's collectible. Oh, you know what? I guess the one thing I did go from toys to collectibles were wrestling figures. I used to play with those as a kid, and I started collecting them after I collected Pops. I would hang them on the wall. I wanted to get them signed, but I eventually grew out of them. They didn't last very long. I was super into wrestling, and then I kind of got out of wrestling. And I was like, I said, the figures are cool, the action figures are cool. And some of them were worth money, but it didn't last. Not for me, at least. So, that's all the questions I got. But I do have things I can answer that I know people don't want to ask. So, the one I'm going to go ahead and just kind of talk to you a bit about is what's up with all this, the chair, the shortness, all that. So I was born with a brittle bone disease called osteogenesis imperfecta. It's a brittle bone disease, bones are weaker, shorter stature, shorter arms, shorter legs. So that's really what it is. Just brittle bones, I've broken a bunch of bones. As a kid, I broke my arm. You can kind of see my arm where it's broken, where it has broken. It's kind of crooked, it doesn't go straight. That's my fault. That's because I had the cast and I was playing the game. I wasn't supposed to be playing the game, but this one too. This one I fell at the bazaar in Irving, I believe. Okay, that's where I broke that one. And then this one was a bus accident in high school. So that was where I broke those. Broken my legs too. So really, it's what it is. Just a brittle bone disease. Lower bone density than most people. So I got a bone density scan 2 or 3 years ago, and they say my bones were a 50-year-old's level of density. So, that's kind of scary, but it's also kind of like, well, it's put into perspective. Like, that's why I'm kind of like living life as I go, kind of moving forward with everything. Not really dwelling on too many things. Shit happens. So, I mean, negative things happen, it is what it is. I move past it, keep moving forward, and, I'm just doing my thing. I'm grinding. That's why I'm working so hard. So I can do everything I want to do now. I don't know how it's going to be when I'm 50, 40. So really right now, I don't know if maybe I am what you're about now. I don't know if I'll be like independent, right, at that age. So there is treatments for it. I just need to get on the ball and get them going, because I have slacking on that. I've been so focused on this. I've kind of put that stuff on the back burner, and I need to go back and get everything right, not just the business but myself as well. But yeah, so that's why I don't really dwell on things. As I said, I look forward and mostly in the present. People ask me about my future, like, oh, what's the plan, the 10-year plan, the whatever. And I'm like, I don't really have one because I don't know what to expect. I don't know what's coming. So really, I just kind of go with the flow, and hopefully it just leads to the right direction for me, and hopefully my body holds up for me too, and carries me along this path I want to take. So really, that's what the condition is. There's not much to it. I haven't looked too much of it up. Maybe because one, I don't know what to expect. Really, I just don't want to look up the condition and see all these things that will probably worry me or scare me in the future. So really, it's just more I'm just I live the way I live, and if things ever start to change, then I'll be like, okay, you know what, I need to kind of fix some things, maybe my lifestyle to be a little safer. But I mean, until then, I'm not gonna have this thing in the back of my head saying, oh, be careful, or oh, hey, you gotta make sure that you don't do this or that. It's more just I'm gonna just go till I can't, and so that's really about it. I do appreciate y'all watching. If there's more things you want to know about the condition, y'all can ask me. Don't be afraid to ask. Asking questions get you very far in where you want to go. You never know that asking one question can do for you. So ask questions if you got questions, and we'll cover more in the podcast too. I told Jay that I want to talk about it too, kind of let y'all know kind of what it is, and if he has questions, because he's asked, but he's never gone into full detail of curiosity. I think it's just respect thing. He don't want to overstep, and that's what a lot of people don't want to do. They don't want to overstep. I don't mind. I'm an open book. I don't care. So whatever question you got, whether business, about me, my career, the bone thing, the wheelchair. So I'm open. I don't hesitate at all. Now, if it's something, I'll tell you. It's I don't want to talk about it. It's not me being rude. It's just me being maybe I'll have a boundary there. But really, there's not much that I'm scared to talk about. So, I'm a person, I'm human, and I love interacting with people. But once again, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. It's been a great video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. This drink is ass.